Guys, we got a massive leak, and in this video we're going to talk all about it. There's also a huge strategy shift that's going on for NIO that pertains and is very important for the future of the company. So first of all, the next car that NIO is going to announce and release, drumroll, is apparently the NT 3.0 ES8. Yep, you heard it right. There's rumors here in China that the next car is going to be the ES8, NT 3.0 ES8. There's many reasons why this is happening, and we'll go all over it in this video. First of all right, there's a huge strategy shift. NIO CEO said that in the future, the average selling price of the NIO brand is actually going to be much higher. So they're actually getting rid of the ES6, ET5, ET5T, and EC6, all the 6s and 5s. They're moving it towards the Envo brand in order to not have any sort of cannibalization and fighting between the NIO brand and the Envo brand. So the average selling price of NIO is going to move up. It's all going to be 7s, 8s, and 9s. ET9, ES8s, etc. ET7s, yada yada yada. And then the 300K range where the ES6 used to be at would be left to the Envo brand. So the Envo has more room and more flexibility. Okay, so that's one strategy shift right there. Very important. We'll come back to this in a bit, but also what's very interesting is if you look at NIO's past vehicle model releases and you think about which car should they announce next, because they have the ES7, they have the ET7, they have the ET5, they have all these vehicles, and logically speaking, you should have the ES7 come out because that is one of the oldest cars that hasn't really been, that needs a really big makeover and do-over. Sales of that have been not so great. And what you're seeing is ES8 totally makes sense, okay? Because for the fact, even though ES8 has been around for a very short duration, it only started deliveries around July of last year. So it hasn't even been 1 year old. And then at the end of this year, they're going to announce the 3.0 ES8, NT 3.0 ES8. The reasoning is also because of the fact that when the ET7 executive version was announced with the rear screens, a lot of people thought, hey, this is great. How come we can't get that on the ES8, right? And the ES8 is supposed to be even more executive than the ET7. You know, last time we checked, 8 is higher than 7. So a lot of ES8 owners indeed want that on their car. And it also makes sense. You know, you got to add this to the car ASAP. And this is also a great opportunity for a lot of changes to be made to the car. For example, not that the ES8 isn't great. The ES8 is fantastic. However, people have been wanting a 7-seater for the ES8 for a very long time for storage purposes. You can store more stuff, and then of course you can bring more people. Right now, there's only 6-seater versions, all right? The max you can bring is 6 people. And for most people, for example, the NIO owner of 27 NIOs, that was actually a big turnoff, to be honest. People wanted a 7-seater version, and people wanted rear screens, and also people wanted that little table. Now, the table, apparently, for the ES8, it's an aftermarket option. Like, you got to pay extra and have it installed, and also takes up a little bit of leg room. So a lot of people kind of complain about that as well. And also, one of the biggest few drawbacks of the current ES8 that they really got to fix is the lack of rear wheel steering, all right? The Xpeng X9, the MPV, which is even cheaper than the ES8, has rear wheel steering, but the ES8 doesn't, you know. And with a ES8 being such a big car and it doesn't have rear wheel steering, that's kind of a bummer, all right? It totally should have rear wheel steering. The ET9 does have rear wheel steering, but the ES8, that's got to come to the ES8. So the ES8 is in dire need of that feature. Also, the fact that the charging port apparently on the ES8, the NT 2.0 ES8, is in the front. A lot of people do not like that. They want the charging port in the back. So all these problems, all right, and NIO being a premium brand, you don't want these kind of like nitpicky little things. And even though they don't seem like a big deal, when you're spending that much money on a car, around 700k RMB, 600k to 700k RMB on a vehicle of this proportion, you want it to be perfect, all right? So they're definitely going to make those changes as well. Now let's go back to that strategy shift, all right? No more ES6s, no more ET5s, no more ET5Ts in the future. What does this mean for NIO? Is it bad or is it good? I'm sort of on the fence about this, all right? There's good and there's bad. Now, I'm leaning towards the good side. Why is this good? Because, first of all, if people buy Envo, this is going to be a lot more profitable for NIO in the long run, all right? Envo cars have higher margins, and also in the future, if customers buy a NIO vehicle, with higher average selling price, that's also going to be higher margins as well. So overall, this shift is going to boost the profitability of NIO, the NIO group in general, all right? Also, if people are buying the Envo car, you got less access to services like NIO houses, etc., and NIO's like extravagant service, all right, in general, like pickup service and all that kind of stuff, which does cost NIO a lot of money. So in general, this is definitely good for profitability. The problem, which you guys all said, is of course you're getting rid of the best sellers, right? You're getting rid of the best sellers, the ES6, ET5. These are the volume drivers right now, right? We see that they make up about 70-80% of the deliveries for NIO. And it really comes down to, in the future, once these cars get shifted into the Envo brand, will they be able to continue to sell this well? Or will it be able to sell even better than it is selling right now? Okay, because that's what's going to happen. They're going to shift these cars into the Envo brand. And the thing is, NIO obviously has very good branding power now. And this is something that has become very apparent now. NIO's branding power is very, very strong. And people see NIO as a luxurious brand, a company that's on about the echelon of BBA. Some people see it as even better than BBA, and that's why people choose it. But the branding power of Envo is very uncertain, and this is the uncertainty part. Is Envo going to be widely accepted? Now, I know for a fact that the product is very, very good, but we really need the testament of time to see if the Envo brand is going to be widely accepted by everybody as well. So far, it seems that it will be widely accepted by everyone. Okay, so far it seems that this strategy is all going to work well. That having these cars in the future, not having ES6s, having those cars in the Envo brand, it will probably work out. Okay, and this is my overall general feeling towards how things are going to play out. I feel like it's going to work out. So definitely look out for the NT 3.0 ES8. This car is going to be fantastic. It's going to be a car without any flaws. It's going to solve all the problems and give the features that people want. And of course, it's NT 3.0 car. So that also means that you will have NIO's God chip inside. You will have horizontal screens in the middle. It's going to be very, very different from current NT 2.0 cars. And you're going to have side LiDARs as well. And also the revolutionary clear motion suspension system in that car. Also rear wheel steering. It's going to have 900-volt architecture, new motors as well. So it's going to be a brand new car. It's going to be a car that's top of the line, very desirable, and something that everybody would want. All right, something that everybody would want. So this is definitely going to be a fantastic vehicle, and I believe that when they come out with this, it will definitely sell very, very well. And this is sort of like going with the strategy that they did when they launched the NT 1.0 cars. They start off with the ES8, and then they shift it down a little bit. So I think they're going to start off with the ES8 this year, launch the ES8, which is already rumored. And then after that, ES7, and then EC7, and then refresh these cars as well. All right, and gradually the ET7, etc. So then you have the full NIO lineup there, all right, minus the ES6s, which won't be there anymore. And then you have Envo and then the Firefly sub-brand. So that covers the whole spectrum of consumers, from the most basic mass market 100K to 200K RMB range for the Firefly, 200K to 300K range for the Onvo brand, and then 400K and above for NIO brand. So this is what it's going to look like down the line, and I think they're going to have a very killer product, a very successful product at every category that suits everybody's needs. So, and overall, it's going to help with profitability. Right? Margins are going to be great. So that's the massive leak. Absolutely spectacular. I'm very excited for this car. As always, stay safe, stay healthy. Peace out.